Back here on SportsLine, Titans day 3 today. A bit of a sloppy practice, but that's going to happen when you're out there every day and you put the pads on. Guys start thinking about what they have to do before they do it, and sometimes it gets a little messy. And when you read between the lines of what Mike Mularkey said after practice, and we'll play the interview for you here in just a moment, you get the sense that he kind of saw this coming. You get the sense that he knows the character of his team and what they're thinking and how they're acting before they hit the field. And today he sensed a tenseness and maybe a lack of focus from some of the guys before they got out there to pop pads for the first time of the year. And he saw it on the field. There were a lot of mistakes early. They had to clean them up. They had to do some things over throughout practice. But at the end of the day, they got work done. And they will be able to correct a lot of these things. And that's the thing. If you're going to have mistakes, have them now. Have them in early August, the first day of August, the third day of training camp, because you can go to the video then and you can point to guys about exactly what they're doing wrong. And you still have plenty of time to fix it before you go live, so to speak, even for a preseason game, let alone the regular season. So I don't think there's any cause for alarm by the fact that this was not a great practice today, but it certainly was a teachable moment. And Mike Mularkey wasted no time in doing that very early on, correcting guys, telling them that that was unacceptable, or that's your one penalty for the day, no more from you. We saw him do that to Chance Warmack at one point today. And frankly, Warmack cleaned up his act right after that. And that's what you want to see, especially from a guy who's a bit of a veteran. Here's Mike Mularkey after today's practice.
How was the first day in pads?
It got better. I'll say that. It was not acceptable early on, and especially in the early drills when we were running the 9-on-7 drill, a half-line drill, which is basically a run drill where it's down and dirty, O-line against the D-line, the fullbacks leading on the linebackers. We had too many false starts, a couple mistakes mentally. A lot of them were young guys, a lot of emotions running in that locker room before the practice. I know a lot of them, nervous energy, very tense. I walked in that locker room, there was a lot of energy amongst the veterans, and I looked in the corner and the rookies, there was dead silence in there. So, that's normal first day in pads, and it showed up early in the practice, and it wasn't acceptable. It was too many, way too many. We had to start the drill over, and I don't want to do that, penalize the defense for mistakes by the offense, but we had to do that.
How are your running backs, I guess, from a physicality standpoint?
I liked what I saw. I'm talking about the whole group. They hit it, especially in the red zone. You could see they were moving the pile, and obviously there's no tackling going on, but they were not shy about, making guys get out of their way, and I like to see that, and that was everybody.
Like the defense was doing a pretty good job getting some penetration on some of the plays there. Were you happy from that?
Very happy, very happy. That's somebody's going to lose on the play. That's just that's the matter of fact, and some of them are going to be bad. Everybody saw Rakapo beat Taylor Lewan pretty badly, and that's good for us, in one sense that he's playing at a high level, and he's tough to block. He always has been, and he's still showing it.
I think they take it as a bit of a challenge. You guys have been talking about the smash mouth philosophy for so long. You think the defense takes that as a challenge to say?
I don't know if they take it as a challenge. I know they want to be physical as well. I think that's just their mindset. I don't know if it's because of the talk of the offense trying to be a physical offense. I think defense is always that way. That's their mentality since they've been young and growing through college. That's what they do.
Dorial talked about a bit of a bounce back day today after some struggles this one.
He did. It was good to see that again. Now I'd like to see it again tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, and then scrimmage in front of fans. I'd like to see that, but yeah, he did some good things again today.
How telling is tomorrow the recovery out of the first 10 days? I tell you a lot about the guy.
About him.
How he comes out tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm anxious to see. We're. We counted it. Hey, we got one good, one bad. Now it's 2-1, and we want him to win with a lot of good ones. And hopefully, all it does is gives him more confidence when he comes out here. I can't imagine it's nothing that's going to boost his his morale, his confidence, his thinking that I can beat anybody. I like that. I'm hoping that's the case.
Taylor talked a little bit about how, just last year there were too many excuses among some of the guys. Well, this happened, this happened, this happened. Do you see any sense of guys self-policing one another?
There's a lot of that going on. I had to do it early, and then I watched to see if anything would happen from veterans and leaders, you hope, and that happened. Even, a DeMarco Murray who put the ball on the ground. That's, he knows we can't have that, and came back in and said, look, that ain't going to happen again. Can't happen. I won't do it. And then he was, again, we started that drill over. He was like, we're starting. We got to start it over. This is not going to be tolerated at any time. This is not what we want. It's not what about me. It was what they didn't want.
Part of practice, we talk so much about receiver, you get open, catch the ball. It's the first time you ever have contact with the corner. So I'm curious when you can see them perform today.
I'm anxious to watch the tape. A lot going on. I'm watching more of the protection at the time, and obviously I see the tail end of the play. So I need to see the whole play over and over, and I'll have a better feel next time I talk to you about today.
How much is Harry Douglas kind of stepped up to the challenge this year, knowing that maybe he's a little bit more of a bubble guy than he has been in the past?
You wouldn't know that about Harry. Harry comes to work every day like a pro. He hasn't even blinked with anything we've done here with the draft, with signing of players. He's the same Harry. He's going to come out here and work and make it a tough decision on us when we have to make up a roster.
Were you able to get much of an impression at all of Henry in just one day of pads?
I saw some things that, I saw some vision on some of the runs that we had. We had a lot of runs in this practice early. We were focusing on first and second down. And obviously the 9-on-7 drills all run. There's some holes in there that look slim, and they are at this level. He hit them pretty good.
Mike Mularkey, after practice today, you could tell that there was some frustration level with the way that his guys went after it today, but also he respects the way they've worked, and they've worked throughout this entire offseason and now into training camp. He understands that you have days that aren't your best. He certainly understands that in day one of pads that there's just a different feel, especially for young guys who haven't gone through it before, and you've got to get over those growing pains. And today the Titans did that. I expect a better effort tomorrow when they get back out there on the field. Bright and early again tomorrow morning. Once again, training camp open to the public. 8:55 is the first snap of practice tomorrow morning. Back to the phones we go. Lines are open. 737-7767 is the number. Tony, good evening. What's going on?
Good evening. Let me make a few desperate comments
Okay.
and have you follow up on. First, I don't know why the Titans will go out and draft a man and beat one of their own players to death on the field for the public and the nation to see. That's ridiculous. And another thing, because I know they got other players out there they could have got.
What guy are you referring to there?
I'm talking about this new receiver that just signed up from Texas, came from Texas, went to Indianapolis.
Yeah, Andre Johnson.
Done beat one of their own players to death, former players to death, on the national TV. And that's ridiculous. The Titans, there's something wrong with them. And the next thing I want to know, I thought this sports was balanced. You don't hear y'all talk about anybody else in the league, who they're going to match up against and how you think they'll do, like you do basketball, because even the president will give these players a pat on the back if they're doing good, especially championship teams like Cleveland. Y'all didn't give them the pat on the back they deserved. And that's what I was really concerned about. You got to be balanced. I thought y'all were balanced and unbiased. I hope y'all ain't on the Titans payroll.
Who else do you want us to talk about? I mean, the thing we have to do is we have to find what our viewers are most interested in. And I think most people around here are very interested in the Titans as they walk into training camp for the first few days. We cover the NFL fairly significantly. But on this show, most of the calls, I would say 99% of them that are about the NFL are about the Titans. So,
well, I'm saying if I got to go online and on computer to find out what other activities going on in the football league, like trades and stuff like that, I hope y'all was, going to elaborate on it. I think it's a good trade possibility for other teams. It's like if they going to meet the Dallas Cowboys or somebody like that, how they would match up. And I shouldn't have to go on the line to find that out on a computer. I mean, I thought y'all was going to say, well, if they got to meet them on a certain date, it's not going to look good, or this is what's going to
we do a lot of that, Tony, when we get to the part of the season where they actually play teams. I mean, this is the part of the year where you got 90 guys on the roster. You're trying to figure out what it looks like, and I think that's what most people around here are most interested in. Who's going to make this team? Who's going to step up and play wide receiver? Will that offensive line come together? I think that's where the interest is around here in these parts right now. At some point, we're going to graduate into the season. We're going to know what this team is all about, and then we're going to talk about Minnesota, September 11th in Game 1, and whether they can stop Adrian Peterson in that running game, or whether Teddy Bridgewater is going to step up and be the next great young quarterback in the NFL. And then you move on to Detroit. Can they go on the road? What will Matthew Stafford in that offense look like without Calvin Johnson? You can go on, and we will certainly do that. But I think on the first few days of August, it's all about the internal. There aren't trades right now. You're not doing many signings unless it's this Andre Johnson deal. This is what this time of year is all about, and here in Middle Tennessee, it's all about the Titans.
Well, I just think it's Andre Johnson's a bad deal, simply the fact because he put this man on the field and beat up the former player like that.
Yeah, Tony, I think there are some people with you on that probably don't like Andre Johnson simply because of that fight back in 2010. But a couple things. One, while he definitely got the better end of the deal out of the fight with Cortland Finnegan, Cortland walked away from it and came back and played later and all those sort of things. So it wasn't quite as brutal as you described it. It was obviously a bad fight that led to ejections and those sort of things. But Andre Johnson, by and large, has been an outstanding character throughout the course of his career. That was a sort of a fluky incident where Cortland was probably a bit of an instigator leading to it. And you know what? In terms of a player, Andre Johnson's been a great leader. He's been incredibly productive, and he's headed to the Hall of Fame at some point. So I think if you're holding the signing against him or the Titans solely because of what happened 6 years ago in a game against the Titans and Cortland Finnegan, I think that's short-sighted. It wasn't a good look, and Andre will tell you that. As a matter of fact, when he fielded some questions about it Saturday after his first practice as a Titan, he completely backed away and didn't want to talk about it and said, look, that's 6 years ago. That's in the past. It's a mistake that I want to move on from. I think he understands that, but he's been a model citizen and a darn good player. So to me, from a Titans perspective, you can't really go wrong there. I'm not sure if he's going to be the Andre Johnson that will be a Hall of Famer at some point here in Tennessee at 35 years of age. But you're either going to get an Andre Johnson that knows how to work, knows how to catch the football, and can be a weapon for you. Or if you don't have him, it's because his presence caused some of these other guys that you don't know a lot about to step up and give you more consistency. Justin Hunter, Dorial Green-Beckham, maybe the young guy Tajay Sharp. Either of those scenarios are good scenarios for Marcus Mariota and the Titans. Back to the phones and David. David, good evening.
Yes. I don't know what that guy is talking about. This is Titans Nation. Anyway, I just want to know on the defense, the cornerbacks. I was like looking at Kevin Byard.
Yep.
And he was kind of like he knows that he's going to be that cornerback and he's going to be in that position when the time comes for him. And I just want to know who's going to be on the other side of him, Paris Cox or McCourty or whoever. Well,
Byard's a safety, so that's number one. So your cornerback, your number one shutdown cornerback is going to be Jason McCourty, David. We appreciate the call. Then on the other side, you're going to either have Parrish Cox or Bryce McCain, who's got a sprained ankle, which is unfortunate because he's been limited the last couple days in practice, has actually been out. So in all likelihood, one of those two guys wins the job opposite of him. And probably the other guy becomes your slot guy in the nickel situation. You got several guys behind that who have some experience, and Bleedy Ray Wilson and Cody Riggs and B.W. Webb, who played last year. Byard's a safety. He is going to likely be the free safety of the future for this team. The question is, when does the future become now? Because he's shown signs already of being able to be that ball hawk and playmaker that people expect. Denoris Searcy's back there, and you brought in Rashad Johnson this offseason. He's a guy that's got 12 interceptions over the last 3 seasons in the NFL. He's a ball hawk in his own right, but obviously he's a veteran that costs more later on in his career. How that works itself out, because I think Johnson's the starter day one, but I don't think the Titans would have any problems moving Byard in front of him at some point if he continues to make plays. How that works itself out, I don't know, but I think you got 3 pretty good safeties there, and all of them are going to see the field. Kevin Byard is definitely going to play a role for this Titans team this year, and I think a big role for the Titans in the future. All right, we got to take a break. 737-7767 is the number. More SportsLine right after this.